Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Colossalcon 2016 with Miss Samurai Dan Jillian.
Hi.
So we're having a lot of fun. So how have you guys been since the last time we saw you at Suricon and again here at Colossalcon last year? How have you guys been?
Oh, pretty good. Causing lots of trouble. Having fun at conventions and teaching people things.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And take us through your convention day. How do you keep Dan on track going from panel to panel?
It's exhausting. First and foremost, the toughest part is keeping track of him, because you wouldn't think that a 6'7", 250-pound man would be hard to keep track of at a busy convention, but he's gone like that.
Yes.
And you go, where did he go? And people just point because they know him. So you just kind of follow the breadcrumbs of where's Samurai Dan, and he has wandered off, and you eventually find him because he found something shiny or cool, or there's a group of people talking to him and have him cornered, because he doesn't like to hold still.
Nope.
Once you've tracked him down, you can usually lure him to his next panel with Mountain Dew Throwback.
Yep.
Although they recently brought back the original Pitch Black.
Right.
Mountain Dew, which he is addicted to, so you may see one of those in his hand this weekend. Don't panic, it's okay. He's not out of Throwback. He just likes the other one also. Hi.
Hi. Hello. I just flew in from Iowa. Boy, are my arms tired.
Really?
So, which is more difficult, keeping track of Dan focused or herding cats?
Keeping him focused is a lot more difficult.
How's the self-defense for anime fans been going? Has this been a positive panel? I mean, you guys teach a lot of great martial arts.
Self-defense for anime, but shoot, we have a panel. I got to get back to it.
No, you don't. We just
I left them twisting each other up.
They're done.
They're done.
They twisted each other into pretzel shapes. They choked each other. We're all good. You look confused.
I just want to make sure we ended the panel with them not choking each other.
Correct.
Okay. Actually, that panel's gone well. I mean, for all the anime cons are fun, and we want to be silly and goofy and everything to be memorable. You've been replaced. It's actually a really big deal to us to do at anime conventions, because anime cons are so much fun, and they're a chance for people to meet new friends and to be. It's a very friendly environment. People are very huggy and stuff, but people still need to be able to enforce boundaries when they need to. And so providing a self-defense panel where people learn to protect themselves in a graduated stage, because not everybody just comes up and goes, "Raw, I'm coming after you with a hockey mask and a knife." Most encounters start subtle and kind of okay, and then work their way into things you shouldn't do. So giving them a self-defense panel where they can learn to protect themselves, first almost gently, and then a little bit more serious if a situation escalates. It's a big deal to me, because everyone deserves a good anime experience. And if something bad like that happens at a convention, that entire part of their life is gone. I mean, and it's a tragedy. And
we like being able to do
twist
something.
people into pretzel shapes.
There is that, but
we
also
get to hurt people and get paid for it. I like that part.
But being able to present and work with people on something that's a very serious issue, and still make it fun and engaging enough that you take some of that stress away and let them focus on doing something that could really help them, possibly at a scary point in their lives, but still entertain them at the same time. I mean, it's a tremendously fun panel.
It is for me.
I agree with that. I tell all my friends, come find me if you have a problem. I'll take care of it. So, how about the Way of the Samurai?
Have one of them called you yet?
I've had one or two. So, how about the Way of the Samurai stage show? Is it tough to keep the audience engaged for a 2-hour show?
No, because she keeps beating me at regular intervals. So I talk, they glaze over, Jill attacks me with a sword, everybody cheers and stays in their seats. And usually, as soon as we see people starting to leave, that's ad-lib, that's Jill attacking me with a sword, and people turn around and go, "Oh, look, spousal abuse," because that's funny in Ohio. And they sit well, I mean, if it's a good, maybe it's just people beating me that's funny.
There is that.
But everything is designed to go in segments, because truthfully, there's so much to do at a convention that if there's downtime, if it gets if dead air is the radio term, when nothing's going on, people will change the channel, and especially in 2016 America. I mean, we joke about ADD all the time, but we're channel surfing and watching little video clips. Yep. And as soon as people start watching, almost anything looks better than me. So if their attention wanders, I got to do something big to get it back, and usually that's letting her hit me with a sword.
And how do you have to keep a certain pace with Cards Against Humanity, or do we let the voice actors have their own fun? I mean, I was present for last year. It was a fantastic time.
Voice actors go unscripted. There's a reason why they have scripts and directors. If you let them talk on their own, they're worse than I am. And they steal my microphone. And this is my panel. Well, it's my wife's panel.
Here at Colossalcon that you got traumatized about Kermit by a voice actress?
Yes, but that's not part of this interview. That was a different therapy session.
I remember.
We do, actually, Cards Against Humanity is tremendous fun. And normally when we run that here at Colossalcon, the last 3 years, we've had over 500 people each night. And it's wonderful, but Cards Against Humanity, for anybody who's played the game, shame on you. But it's kind of like apples to apples gone horribly awry.
For adults.
And there's enough, real adults don't play those kinds of things. But it can be, so many of the cards they're deliberately offensive. And it's supposed to be in good fun, but it's very easy for people
take it a little too serious
to get offended. So it's my job running the game to make sure that everyone remembers the intent behind the game. And so it may seem subtle with how I run it and keeping it going at a certain pace and a certain level, because it's also, I know this sounds almost contradictory, it is possible to be dirty without being gross. Right. And that game skates as close to that line as anything. And it's my job to kind of keep it from going where people still have fun and think it was funny dirty and not, I'm walking out of this theater. Yeah. And that's actually, Cards Against Humanity is the most difficult thing we do. Yeah. Because the rest of the stuff, that's mine. The self-defense stuff and the moves, all mine. I don't really have control over what cards get played.
We also have the 3 latest packs to add into the mix tonight, so we're a little excited. Well, I'm a little excited. He's a little scared.
Another fun game you guys should try is called Utter Nonsense. So instead of you get the white card, as the normal saying, but it's a yellow card and it's an accent.
An accent?
Like Russian, Japanese, Chinese. Yeah.
That'd be great for the voice actors. I'm a martial arts, and so I don't do accents. I can't even do Japanese accents.
So keeping up with our love and fun of being here, and we also love the NFL, what is your predictions for the NFC North in 2016? And yes, rumor has it that the Bears are still part of that division.
When did that happen? Did they get upgraded? The last I heard, they were borderline for making the Arena League this year. I mean, they've got a quarterback that can throw the ball, but since no one can protect him yet, and he still has confusion on which color jersey he's throwing to, no. For all the crap we give the Bears, I am actually a big Jay Cutler fan.
He's a good quarterback. Yeah.
And honestly, he's misunderstood. Just because he doesn't carry himself like John Elway or Peyton Manning and doing the polished interviews where they make sure that they're being polite and friendly to everybody. He just looks like he looks, and he says what he says, and he doesn't really care about the media, which I wish I could do that, but I'm not important enough. Predictions for the NFC North. Let's go Green Bay retaking the division, going 12-4. Okay. I really think the Vikings are a team on the rise. I don't really like saying that, but they're putting all the pieces together, but I don't think they have the dynamics to catch a healthy Packers team. Losing Jordy Nelson last year was a big deal, and Eddie Lacy having a down year. So I would still put the Vikings probably 10-6. They'll have a good season. Detroit is going to be middle of the pack, like always, not great with Calvin Johnson retiring. So we'll put them about 8-8, maybe 7-9. And the Bears, and I'm not trying to bash, but I'm going to say 5-11 with Chicago this year.
If you don't have enough support around your quarterback to protect him and also get the ball down the field, that's a big issue. Then on top, they got to make sure your defense is ready to take a pounding when your opposing offense gets on there. And
John Fox is a really good defensive coach, but not a great offensive coach. And Adam Gase left to go coach the Dolphins, and they lost. Wasn't Martellus Bennett their go-to tight end? Yeah. And he's now somewhere else. Correct. So Cutler lost his safety valve, the big guy in the middle. I mean, granted, Alshon Jeffries, good guy. Wonderful target if he can stay healthy. Correct. Big, strong, and create separation. But he's going to need it because they're going to be in a lot of 3rd and 20s.
Alrighty. And keeping up with your guys' other fun and passion is that you guys are motorcycle enthusiasts. What's it like being here at Colossalcon, knowing that the motorcycle convention is also taking place the same weekend in the town? Frustrating. It's like, I ride every day when the weather's nice. I wouldn't drive a car if I didn't have to. So hugely passionate about motorcycles, and it's almost worse being in a town at a convention that it's awesome that it's this big and it's this busy and we just immerse ourselves in it. But then the rare occasions we leave the property to go out to eat, and there's all these really cool events going on with the motorcycles and all the, and it's frustrating because you can look but you can't touch. It was a lot like high school.
The bike rally and Colossalcon being the same weekend is really fun for us because when we do leave, there's other, we'll stop and but it's also dangerous because it's way too easy to spend even more money than you do at Colossalcon because we go out and then, oh, look, here's merch booths with motorcycle stuff and, oh, I have to have that shirt and wouldn't this be neat to add on the bike? And it's not safe. And then we have to try to figure out how to drive it all back home with all the other stuff we brought to the convention and the dogs.
They don't fit on the motorcycle.
No.
At all.
We've considered getting a sidecar for Kuma, but
he wouldn't wear the goggles. The first time we were here for Colossalcon, we didn't know there was a bike rally, and we went out. We went to Red Lobster for dinner, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life because anime conventions and the people leaving the AnimeCon and interacting in so-called normal society is always kind of awkward. And the bike rally is kind of the same thing, but with bikers, there's that intimidation factor, even though they're not Hell's Angels. No. They look that way because it's the leathers and everything. We went to Red Lobster and the restaurant was divided in half. There were AnimeCon kids at one end who were all kind of looking at all the guys in leather and all the bikers on the other half of the restaurant, and they were terrified. Not because they thought the AnimeCon, they didn't know what they were. I mean, there was just this horrid fascination. And so the anime kids were all just loud and being silly and having fun. And all the big bad bikers were just scared because it was like, what is that? Why are you dressed like that? And it was awesome because we perform at the AnimeCons, but I was wearing a Harley t-shirt and my boots.
Us with the bikers.
So we got two with the bikers and they're like, are you here for the rally? I'm like, no, actually we're with them. And it's like we were in disguise.
But it led to lots of questions. They're like, what is it? Because they were afraid to go ask everybody in costume what they were. They didn't want to offend them or be awkward. But as soon as they're like, oh, they know what it is. And then, so we spent most of dinner explaining instead of eating.
Alrighty, so on that note, how do you keep up with your fans online? How do you guys engage? I know we have Twitters, we have Facebooks, we have Tumblrs, all that type of jazz.
Keep up with them?
Lots
of caffeine. Lots of caffeine.
We shield Dan from most of the online things because it scares him, especially when he learned what Rule 34 is. He's still traumatized, and last weekend he got to go to a BrodyCon, so now he's really scared. So we don't usually let Dan online much, but we do have a Facebook account, which is facebook.com/Samurai Dan and Jillian. We have a Twitter that Kyle Abear helped me set up like 4 years ago that has maybe like 10 tweets on it. So every once in a while there's something extra silly, mostly as a taunt to him at a panel. I'll post something on Twitter when I can remember the password to get into it. Passwords, why are there so many passwords in life? Yeah. But
Safe word.
safe word.
Mine is apples.
Yours is apples. Great, Castle. Good job. But mostly being able to either just email us or message us on Facebook is the easiest way, and most of our presence online. Other than that, we just turn him loose in person to roam the convention, and that's more than enough presence for most of the fans. Correct. So they're done afterwards.
We had a staffer at ASIN 2 years ago that got up on stage right before I went on and said, I've been working with Dan for 2 years now, and I've discovered the secret. Samurai Dan is best in limited doses. And that has followed me. Yeah. Limited doses. I'm sorry, I'm 6'7". This is as limited as it gets.
Alrighty, and now any upcoming projects you guys want us to talk about, or that you, any books that you've got coming out again, and a message for all your wonderful fans that are out there.
Hi. That was my message. What do you got?
Good luck keeping up with him, and no, he's not on any new medications.
No. But I am taking my meds.
What?
Not just taking my meds, I'm taking yours too.
What? Are you really?
All right. Thank you so much for talking with us. Thank you.
Sorry.